Hoffman Authority monthly meeting. Today is December 9th, 2025. First item on the agenda is the public comment period. Okay, so we have nobody signed up to speak. Next item is the meeting minutes. Review and approval of the special meeting minutes for our November 18th, 2025 meeting. Anybody have any comments, or can I get a motion on that?
Motion.
We got a motion from Penny Morgan. Second from Gunther Weisenseal. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. That motion carries. Next item is review of financial statements for November 2025. Howie.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the VBDA, Councilman Remick, Vice Mayor Wilson. I will be going over the monthly cash flows and financial activity for November 2025. For the operating and cash account, we had a beginning cash balance on November 1st of $7,581,234. During the month of November, we received $2,366,041. This was for the sale of approximately 21 acres in Innovation Park at 2008 Hudome Way. This was sold to Acoustical Sheet Metal. Also had $529,350. This was for the annual bond admin service fee for Series 2023A and 2023B 1 through 3. This was paid by Westminster Canterbury. We had $10,596 in interest income for November 2025. Cash disbursements for the month, we had just under $65,000 for the Innovation Park final subdivision plot and Global Way Phase 3. This was for September 30th, 2025, paid to VHB. We had $42,851 for the Atlantic Park offsite asset construction and inspections through October 31st, paid to MVP. Just under $4,000 for utility markings and corporate landing, covering the period of August 29th through October 31st, paid to Mid-Atlantic Surveying. And finally, we had just under $4,000 for legal services for the Atlantic Park project through September 30th, 2025, paid to Davis Commercial Law Group. That leaves us with an ending cash balance on November 30th of $10,309,942. Also for the operating account, we had amounts that were paid by the VBDA at the beginning of the month and then reimbursed by the city. We had $889,861 for the Atlantic Park draw number 33 offsite infrastructure. This was paid to Venture Waves. And we also had $106,557 for the Atlantic Park entertainment venue construction monitoring. That was paid to VHB. For Innovation Park, we had $577,355. This was for draw request number 23, offsite construction work. Offsite construction work that was done on behalf of the VBDA. This was for through the period ending September 30th, 2025, paid to Architectural Graphics. For corporate landing, we had draw request number 8 for offsite infrastructure and utility construction through September 30th. This was paid to Seabreezy for $154,093. And then we had just under $8,000 for the Global Way and Pond C final construction. That was paid to VHB. We had one other reimbursement that was actually not done through the city. That was for a Dominion Energy monthly charges at the Atlantic Park entertainment venue, and that is reimbursed by Live Nation for $21,376. For the capital maintenance accounts, We had the Human Services Building. We received a monthly lease payment for December 2025. That was for $47,910. And then we had an expense for the building's roof and cooling tower replacement. This was pay app number 7, paid to Simpson Unlimited, and that was just under $8,000. There was no activity for the Atlantic Park entertainment venue capital maintenance account, and that leaves us with a balance on November 30th of $70,158. And then the final capital maintenance account, we had the VB National Golf Course. We received October's monthly revenue share of $22,842. Then we had, due to the timing this month, we had 2 pay apps that were paid to Van Art Construction. Pay app number 5 for interior construction and renovations, and also a door replacement, was $65,737. And then pay app number 4 for interior construction and renovations was for $9,322. The final payment was for Golf Course Pond 1 maintenance, and that was paid to VHB for $4,704. For the incentive and initiative accounts, specifically the facade improvement grant, during the month we had painting of the building exterior and replacing front sliding glass door to Snip Atlantic for $5,500. We had installation of exterior lighting and landscape improvements to Jim White Fitness and Nutrition Studios of $1,977. We had the purchase of a new sign and installation of that sign to JMT Suites and More for $1,973. We had the repainting and repairs to building exterior for Carmel Longboards of $1,457. For the Small Businesses Grant Program, we reimbursed O-Blue Solutions for vehicle repairs and maintenance, and then they also had expenses for marketing and business expansion. That was $4,546. That was just an ending balance in the Small Business Grant Program, $461,875. And then the final financial account was the EDIP account. We had ending EDIP appropriations on November 30th of $12,166,585. During the month of October, I actually forgot to add this one to last month's presentation, and I didn't change the unencumbered balance, but in October we awarded an EDIP award to Groundworks. This was for an anticipated 75 jobs created and an average salary of $114,867. And then they also had a proposed capital investment of $3,870,000. The total EDIP award that was available for the total possible payout of that EDIP award was $309,800. Then in November, we awarded a EDIP award for Gov Solutions. This had an anticipated 7 jobs created at $91,560 average salary. And then they proposed $4,650,000 in capital investment. The total EDIP award possible was $193,000. So after these 2 awards, the amount encumbered on November 30th was $5,623,134. For the EDIP Part B, there was no activity during November, so the amount encumbered under Part B was just over $1 million, and that leaves us with an EDIP grant funds available for future use on November 30th of $5,542,781. Any questions?
Any questions for Howie? All right.
All right.
Very good. Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda is a request for approval for expansion of an existing easement to 1,000 square feet at 312 Virginia Beach Boulevard.
Good morning, UDA Board. Councilman Reddick, Vice Mayor Wilson. This morning, my name is Dennis Wilmore, by the way. We're presenting a request to increase an easement along the 17th Street corridor. This project is a CIP-funded project that's currently in construction. It started back in October. The original lease easement was requested for equipment for Dominion was 150 square foot. It was a 15 by 10 foot little space on the western corner of the parcel. Since construction started and Dominion's redesigned a few things, we needed to increase this easement request to 750 square feet in order to accommodate some additional equipment and consolidate the equipment within the corridor on that side of the street. It poses cost savings for construction. So within this corridor, we're on the west side right there on the property. Since the project has been started, the parking lot was installed, so we're keeping everything to the west side of that project right there and just shifting things over from the east to the west side and consolidating it on that end. So as you see there, the small easement in black and then the increased easement there with the additional equipment. So we're just requesting confirmation that we go ahead and increase that and finish our design.
Got it. Any questions for Dennis? Bill has a question.
Just want to confirm, and I assume it would not, but the increased size of the easement wouldn't adversely affect the use of the property in the foreseeable future?
No. Yes, we made sure we stay clear of anything in the entrances. So.
It looks like you stayed clear of the parking in the drive aisle, so.
Yeah.
It looked that way. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions for Dennis? Dennis, so the request is for approval of expansion of that existing easement to 1,000 square feet at 312 Virginia Beach Boulevard. Motion from Ms. Brunke?
Second.
Second from Patty Morgan. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. That motion carries. Next item on the agenda is oh, sorry. Oh, we had an abstention from Mike standing. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is a request for approval of a resolution authorizing parking management to lease spaces in the VBDA owned garage at Baltic and 20th. Good morning, Emily.
Good morning. Good morning, Vice Mayor, Councilmember Remick, Madam Chair, Madam members of the board. So VBD owns two garages in Atlantic Park, the Baltic on the left, the northern street here is 20th, Pacific Avenue's on the right on the screen, and Arctic Avenue's on the right. In the middle, Pacific, Arctic, Baltic. The Baltic Garage and the 20th Street Garage are both owned by VBDA and managed and operated by the city's parking management. They are recently have temporary occupancy permits, are completely operational at this time. There's about 1,000 spaces in the Baltic Garage and about 400 in the 20th Street Garage. As the parking management and operations has taken over in the garages, they have some storage spaces they're requesting to lease today for your consideration. There are 4 storage spaces in the Baltic Garage, totaling 1,122 square feet on various levels. That's one on the first floor, for instance. And there are about 3 storage spaces totaling about approximately 272 square feet in the 20th Street Garage on various levels as well. They have some of the surrounding tenants and their own contractors would like to utilize these storage spaces, so they're requesting this body approve and let them lease these spaces at $650 per square foot per year. There will be the leases will be for no more than 5 years and escalate annually at 3%. So, with your permission, for them to manage and enact these leases.
Madam Chair, the concept was rather than bring these rather inconsequential leases back to you every Power, parking management, require reporting, and just kind of go from there.
Right, so we set the rate at $16.50 a square foot, and then the 5-year terms with 3% escalation. Michael had a question.
What was the area originally intended for?
So a lot of them are like under ramps and they couldn't be utilized for parking, right? So they're just kind of leftover spaces that were turned into storage spaces, knowing that some of the residents and the tenants would like to use them as well.
So it's an opportunity for some additional revenue,
Yeah.
which is nice, yeah. All right, any other questions for Emily? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion for the request for approval of a resolution authorizing parking management to lease spaces in the VBDA-owned garage on Baltic and 20th Street, as was just described to us.
Motion to approve.
Got a motion from Mr. Keplinger and a second from Mr. Weisenseal. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. That motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Emily's up for the next item, request for approval of corporate landing conduit lease modification.
Great. The disclosures? So in Corporate Landing, BBD owns a conduit system, about 2.1 miles, that spans both sides of Corporate Landing Parkway. There are 16 total conduits. This is for data management and was put in place in 2018 to attract data centers and carriers here at Virginia Beach and Corporate Landing Business Park. 2 of the 16 conduits are currently being leased, one by Global Links and one by Level 3 Communications. Global Links Data Center is the applicant here. They're requesting an additional 2 leases, modification to that today. They currently manage the conduit for us as well. So I mentioned the 2 conduits that are currently being leased is Level 3 Communications, also known as CenturyLink, and Global Links, as part of their management fee, has a lease of the conduit. So about 2 years ago, Global Links came and asked to lease 4 additional conduits, and VBD approved that for an upfront $160,000 fee, which is what we charge anybody to lease these, and a $12,000 annual maintenance fee thereon. That lease was never executed, and Global Links, in the meantime, has secured additional subsea cable landings and is bringing them in from Sandbridge at this time, and customers for those conduits. They're finding that the newer conduits coming in from the subsea cables are thicker, and they can't make some of the bends in the current conduit system. They have an estimate to modify some of the manholes to accommodate these bends around $60,000, and they're requesting a construction credit on the upfront lease fee to modify those manholes needed. So the request before you today is to amend the lease, one negotiated in 2023, to reduce the upfront fee from $160,000 to $100,000 for that construction credit on the upfront lease fee.
And so Emily, would it be a reduction or a credit so that it,
Yes, it should be that should be stated as a credit. Apologies.
so it's still $160,000, but they'll be getting a $60,000 credit to do that modification?
Modifications of the manholes, yes.
Right. Gunther, did you have a question? Okay. Any questions for Emily? All right, then I'll entertain a motion on the request for approval of corporate landing conduit lease modification. I had a motion for Mr. Brunke. Second for Mr. Weiner. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. That motion carries. Thank you, Emily. The next item on the agenda is a request for approval of a resolution authorizing the sale or transfer of 16 plus or minus acres to TST Tactical Defense.
Good morning. Vice Mayor, Council Member, Madam Chair, Commissioners, ladies and gentlemen. We are here to discuss a land transfer or purchase proposal and an EDIP request. And before I get started, I would like to acknowledge Ryan Turner, CEO and CFO of TST Roofing and Glazing. So here are the disclosures. Okay, so basically we'll be discussing the terms of the sales of the 16 acres. And 5 of those 16 acres, only 5 acres are developable. and an EDIP request based on capital investment and creation of jobs. So a little bit about the company. They're an SBA 8A and service disabled owned veteran business, minorities one business, providing leadership and management in commercial roofing and glazing construction. They're a Class A general contractor with a wealth of experience in both government contracting and commercial construction projects. They have worked with several key agencies ranging from Naval Facilities Engineering Systems Command to U.S. Army Corps of Engineers to Army Mission and Installation Contracting Command, as well as city agencies, school divisions. They currently employ 150 employees. And I included your chief, I see you smiling. Chief Canine Officer. So they are currently located in Corporate Landing Business Park at 732 Corporate Parkway. They are at capacity and are interested in acquiring the adjacent parcel to expand their business. So basically the 16 acres will be used to build a 20,000 square foot warehouse and a 15,000 square foot office with a laydown area that will require a conditional use permit. So here's what we're proposing. Either sell the land, the 5 acres for the 200 acres per, the $200,000 per usable acres, or we have a Pond B option, which is a Pond B is that stormwater pond by the parcel. So VHB will design Pond B to our specifications. Once the design is complete, we'll obtain pricing. Then TST will construct the Pond B at its cost in exchange of the 16 acres. And of course, this option, we will come back for your approvals once you have everything completed and priced. For the EDIP, we're looking at $7,075,000 capital investment, consisting of $6,075,000 for building construction, $650,000 for machinery and tools, and $350,000 for FF&E. They will create 135 new jobs with an average salary of $88,222. And out of those 135 jobs, 90 jobs will be at Tier 1 and 45 jobs at Tier 2 per the new amended EDIP policy. Hampton Roads Alliance, our colleagues in Hampton Roads Alliance helped us get a fiscal impact analysis over 20 years, so up to 2044. We're looking at a $2,744,000 for the direct net present value, direct impact, and a cumulative impact of $7,006,000, including based on the 135 new jobs. So we're here to see if you could authorize the sale of the 16 acres for either $200,000 per acre, or the Pond B option, which we'll lean in towards, and the award of $508,000 pursuant to the EDIP Part A for business retention and expansion, $283,000 for capital investments, and $225,000 for job creation.
And Madam Chair, we're asking you to adopt a resolution that authorizes both options to allow them to get the estimates and the planning process started, and should Plan B be elected, we will come back to you with the actual cost, so you'll have an opportunity to say yes or no to that.
Yeah. And I'd just like also to just note something else about the ponds. So, as you all know, or maybe it would be a good reminder, that we have a master plan that treats all the stormwater quality and quantity for the park. So basically, all our ponds are connected, and we have met Peter here with us from VHB. So they're all connected and everything, so that it allows us to basically have a good share of the different impervious areas for the different parcels of the park.
And so by expanding, if we go with that, depending on the cost, if we go with that Plan B, they would actually be helping us to add value to the park by increasing the size.
Yes, and I also need to note that also this B, it might expand. So this 16 acres, we're looking at much less than 16 acres.
Maybe smaller, yeah. So really, it's still 200,000 an acre. It's either cash or they get a credit based on the value of creating this
Correct.
pond for us.
So we will design the pond and they will, and TST will construct it.
We have no idea how much it'll cost at this point. All right, does everybody understand what the ask is? So the first ask is the sale of the land. We'll address that one first, and then we'll do the EDIP. So the two requests, but taken separately, a resolution authorizing the sale or transfer of 16 plus or minus acres of property to TST Tactical Defense Solutions, with the option, the two options. That's 200,000 per usable acre, but the Plan B option would be in lieu of cash, the value of the creation of that pond for us. Can I get a, yes, Vice Mayor?
Sorry to interrupt, but we've had some issues with, where we've done a credit in lieu of cash with the general public. Because they think that we're just giving money away, giving land away for free and things like that. So in some ways, I think it's better if we have an outright sale, because then the public's not thinking we're just giving the land away. Just thought I would put that in.
I think the idea here was that it's still a sale for the 16 times $200,000 an acre. It would just be, they get a credit based on the value of the work for the pond. So
As long as it shows the sale of,
yeah, it's sale for the 200.
And that's why when we have pricing on the pond, if that's the option, we're going to bring that back. So there's a public vote to say we are getting
A credit of, yeah.
X in services in exchange for
feedback from
land.
not feedback, but comments from the public and saying, well, especially something that happened pretty recently. Well, they just gave the land for free, and, you know.
And I think,
Really, we did it in lieu of cash, but that's not understood widely.
I think that's an excellent point, yeah. We're not given, and these ponds cost us in the millions of dollars to create.
Not cheap.
Yeah, I don't think people understand how much, well, the development community understands how much stormwater management costs and how much it adds to the regulatory process, but I don't think the average person knows. I mean, these are millions of dollars to spend on these. All right, so everybody understand where we're going with that one? Somebody like to make a motion?
Motion.
Got a motion from Mr. Weisenseal?
Second.
Second from Mr. Weiner. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. All right, the next item is that resolution approving the award of $508,000 in EDIP Part A funds to TST Tactical Defense Solutions.
So moved.
Got a motion for Mr. Weiner? And a second from Penny Morgan. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. I will say, and I don't know if Mr. Turner wanted to say anything, but this is a local business that is now expanding, taking on a second location, and it's amazing how much they've grown, and it's wonderful to see this organic growth from our own existing businesses. So, thank you. Thank you for expanding in Virginia.
Really appreciate the opportunity. We started in 2014, 5 of us, the Air Force, joined up with a couple construction guys. And now we're at 150 plus employees. We added 70 last year, 40 stayed. Fortunate construction with high turnover. We are building false cubicles with our building logistics, thousands of people, and we're also expanding our manufacturing, which is big. We do all our own in-house sheet metal, wall panels, glazing, and civil division, so that's why we're all under the office. We just exploded over the past 2 years, but I continue to keep.
Wonderful.
Appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you so much. All right. Next item is International Incubator, a request for approval of a resolution authorizing a sublease in our International Incubator.
Good morning, Vice Mayor, Councilman Remick, Chairman Murphy, and members of the board. My name is Dominique DeBose, and I am bringing before you an International Incubator recommendation. These are the disclosures. So the company's name is OptiEye Corporation. They're a small startup company based out of Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. It was founded by Dr. Daisy Williams through technology research based out of the University of Ottawa. This company actually began as a lead from the CANSAC mission with the Alliance. However, this was not one of these scheduled meetings. So I was able to organically engage with them and attract them to Virginia Beach through that conference. CANSAC was the largest security conference in Canada. And they develop lightweight passive photo radio frequency detection sensors that are compatible with fiber optic drones in order to identify RF emissions without detection. So essentially, for layman's term, they detect radio frequency signals using light without being detected. This is really useful for the defense sector, for electronic warfare, and other military applications. They are at a technology readiness level 7, which means that they are ready to test in operational environments, which is very high, and beginning partnerships with other companies. They also are NATO compliant, have 2 patents and 2 pending, and they just recently, this past November, placed in the top 5 global finalists for the Dubai Air Show. They have since connected with the EDT, the Alliance, NASA Langley Research Center, the Virginia Modeling and Simulation Center, and Mid-Atlantic Tech Bridge during their first visit back in September. Their technology dealing with the electromagnetic spectrum has been identified as a critical national security and warfighting domain. So the United States military has identified their technology as critical and important. They are seeking to partner with other drone companies and other military-affiliated organizations for opportunities. They're currently within their U.S. subsidiary Progress Establishment and have received their SEC corporation to do business in Virginia. So just a little bit of background on the International Incubator. VBDA did approve its first tenant back in 2021, and it's basically designed for international companies seeking expansion into the U.S. market and to provide them with soft landing space for about 1 to 2 offices before they scale. We did expand our footprint in 2024 and did add new furnishing this past year in 2025. There are currently 4 vacant spaces remaining, and a membership lease option was added this year for those who do not need physical office presence. The membership lease that OptiEye will be advocating for includes the U.S. mailing address, access to shared conference rooms and shared spaces, and this is the payment structure based on the membership. And I am asking for a recommendation to approve the membership sublease to OptiEye Corporation for the International Incubator. Are there any questions?
Any questions for Dominique? Great. Sounds like a great company, and good job finding them. All right, so I'll entertain a motion on the request for the sublease in our International Incubator to Opti Corporation. Got a motion from Ms. Morgan?
Second.
Second from Mr. Keplinger. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. That motion carries. All right, next item is administrative information. Any Development Authority members have any comments, priorities? All right, I just had a couple of things to mention. For members, calendar invites for the 2026 meeting dates are going to be sent out this week, so keep an eye out for those. We look forward to seeing everyone at our holiday party tomorrow, Wednesday, December 10th at 5:30 at the Dome. We had in the past, and I know when David Weiner was on the Planning Commission, he would frequently come to our meetings. And we've had Catherine Schoonover from the Planning Commission join us as well. We would like to formally ask the Planning Commission, if it's all right with you all, to continue to send a liaison to our meetings, just so that they can keep updated on what's going on with us and that we can get feedback from them. So hopefully Catherine will be our formal liaison, but that's up to the Planning Commission. So, hello, and we look forward to you continuing to attend. The other group, I think that would be good to ask to send a liaison just to have at our meetings would be the Resort Area Advisory Commission. So I think having sort of a more formalized relationship with those two bodies would be good. If that's all right with you all, we will send a request to their chair that they consider sending a liaison. Any other items for anybody? All right, then I'll go to the director's report.
Good morning, Vice Mayor Wilson, Councilmember Remick, Madam Chair, members of the commission. Our department is ending the year quite strong. Some announcements and updates to share with you today. Our FIG program will be launching soon. So this year we'll have our traditional FIG program and then an additional program specific just to the Atlantic Avenue corridor. Stay tuned for those workshops. They'll be held both virtually and in person. Dates will be posted soon by the staff. Last Friday, we were honored to host Governor Youngkin and members of his team to celebrate the new headquarters for Regulus in Virginia Beach. It was a wonderful ceremony. Congresswoman Kiggins was able to attend as well, and so we're looking forward to their continued expansion and growth in the city of Virginia Beach. We have numerous RFPs that have either just closed or have launched. So this Monday, December 8th, we launched an RFP for property that's owned by the city on Oceana Boulevard. That's ideal for a light industrial manufacturing facility, and that will close in March. The city several weeks ago issued an RFP for 1040 Laskin Road. That RFP has now closed and will be briefed to council in the coming weeks. As I shared with you at your last meeting, we closed an RFP for a parking garage at 19th and Parks. That initial briefing has been conducted at City Council and will be briefed to you at some point in the first quarter of this year, as BBDA will have an involvement in that project should it move forward. BB National, City Council made the decision to issue an RFP for BB National. That RFP has now closed. 9 responses were received, and that will be briefed to City Council first quarter of 26. Action Sports, that RFP was issued and closed on Friday, December 5th, and will be briefed to council again in the coming months, January, February. The final draft of the comprehensive plan was posted yesterday. If you haven't had an opportunity to review that draft, please do so. That will be briefed again to the Planning Commission and then City Council. First quarter of 26 is going to be busy. And then lastly, staff working with the Planning Department, Economic Development, Public Works, and Parks and Recreation is starting the process to update our ITA master plan. As you will recall, this was an important topic at the City Council retreat this summer, and so we have completed a scope of work that will combine 3 uses for that area. It's the construction of a law enforcement training academy, it's the development of the Parks and Recreation Sports Tourism Plan, and it's the potential expansion of Innovation Park. So throughout that process, there'll be briefings to a number of advisory boards to include BBDA, and so we'll keep you posted as that process continues. And lastly, as Chair Murphy said, we look forward to seeing you tomorrow at our holiday party to celebrate you all, this year's accomplishments, and our business community. I'm happy to take any questions you may have.
Any questions for Amanda? Thank you, Amanda. And because this is our last meeting of the year, which is incredibly hard to believe, I wanted to thank Amanda Jarrett. I know you all know that we've not had an acting director of economic development for a little while, and that means that our deputy city manager is wearing 2 hats. She's having to be interim director, and she's having to do her regular day job. And she's worked tremendously hard. And as I sat here and listened to the 2 businesses we had expanding and the opportunities that we continue to have, wanted to reflect and recognize our Deputy Economic Development Directors who have really been tasked with sort of restructuring and making sure that all of our actions are focused and that we're really purposeful in what we're doing out in the community, both with our existing businesses and our new businesses. So Emily Archer and Natalie Gimenez, thank you. Hopefully I didn't butcher your name, Natalie. Thank you. I know you guys have been working double time too. And then to all of our staff, because everybody's really had to work. So I know folks out in the community think, oh, well, there's not much going on. You don't have an economic development director, which, by the way, we're going to start interviewing for that job. But the staff has been plenty busy, and they've really had a very productive year. So thank you to you all, and we appreciate everybody's hard work. And to everybody in the room, happy holidays. Hanukkah's getting ready to start. Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas. Enjoy time with family, because that's what this time of year is really about. So thank you to you all, and thank you for a wonderful year. We are adjourned.
We have a closed session.
Yeah, well, yeah. Our open meeting is adjourned. By this Virginia Beach Development Authority, that such closed meeting was conducted in conformity with Virginia law. Now therefore be it resolved that the Virginia Beach Development Authority of the City of Virginia Beach, Virginia hereby certifies that to the best of each member's knowledge, number one, only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements by Virginia law were discussed in the closed session to which this certification applies, and two, only such public business matters as were identified in the motion convening the closed meeting were heard, discussed, or considered by the Virginia Beach Development Authority. I'll need a motion, a second, and then we'll have a roll call vote. Motion for Mr. Weisenseel. Second. And Mr. Harris.
William Brumkes.
Yes.
Michael Harris.
Yes.
Eric Flinner. Osmo Meeks.
Yes.
Penny Morgan.
Yes.
Teresa Murphy.
Yes.
Michael Stanning. David Weiner.
Yes.
Richard Murphy.
Yes.
We are adjourned. Thank you. See everybody.